Welcome everyone to the Hall of Fame show. And for the first time ever, myself, Kirk, Buchner, and Evan Nolan, although we've never been in the same place, never been in the same state, we're actually in the same country. So that's kind of cool. That's new.
What?
Yeah, the closest we've been was the same time zone, Winnipeg and Chicago, but officially, not in Hall of Fame has been. We've now moved offices to Seattle.
Yeah, we're a mere, according to quick check out here on Google Maps, we're a mere 2,037.8 miles apart.
There you go. There you go. Who says long distance relationships don't work?
It's been years, man.
There you go.
You're actually closer in Winnipeg, I think.
I was much closer in Winnipeg for sure.
Yeah, that's only 837 miles. So that's a 12-hour drive as opposed to a 30-hour drive.
Right. So just forgive the backdrop here as I'm in a hotel for the next little while. Anywho, and we haven't done anything in a while. So if you're into basketball, this is the show for you.
Apologize, guys. We have been busy doing stuff. He's been moving. I've got all sorts of trips that have happened. So we are a little behind. We have stuff to catch up on here. So
yeah. So
start with the basketball home.
Yeah, let's start off with the Basketball Hall of Fame. Because we haven't reacted. I was hoping I might get a reaction in last week, but I wasn't able to sort of do that. Long story short, we haven't reacted to the Basketball Hall of Fame, which next year will probably be pretty dull, considering there's not really a whole lot of big names coming up who are going to be eligible next year. So, but that's neither here nor there. So let's take a look at who we did or who they did select. They pretty much everyone who was a finalist they took except for Marianne Washington. So how they decide this, again, we have no idea. Whether there's a threshold, whether there's anything, we don't know how they come up with this. This is really unfortunate because I think because of that, the Basketball Hall of Fame, despite basketball's growth in the United States, its astronomical growth over the last 30 years, the Basketball Hall of Fame has remained stagnant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think most of the reaction to this Hall class was they're literally letting anybody in. I hate saying it that way, but that's most of the reaction I saw online for stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's kind of there was an article on The Athletic. I apologize, I don't remember who it was who wrote that. But they were mostly bemoaning that of Michael Cooper getting in here. Right. So I mean, like, I think it's a little bit anticlimactic, although again, we'll give them praise where it's due. We always know when it's going to be, and they've done a great job tethering that with the Final Four and the NBA All-Star Game. I'll be mentioning something where I wonder, at least they've tethered it to something, whether that's a good idea or not, I don't know. But I guess we'll kick off with the sure thing, which is Vince Carter. Vince has no surprise here. He really turned his whole career around, ironically enough, when he wasn't quite the same player. I think at some points he's got to get into the Canadian Basketball Hall of Fame, or maybe even the Canada Sports Hall of Fame, because how many great players did Canada produce that were inspired by Vince Carter? And it's a whole hell of a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure there are a ton. I mean, just DeMar DeRozan and a bunch of others probably.
Well, yeah, but DeRozan's not
Carter,
like Canadian born.
Oh, I thought DeRozan was Canadian born. No. I'm sorry.
No,
my bad.
Yeah, so I mean, like the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, and the fact that for the first time, I don't know if it's the first time ever, it has to be, that Canada beat the United States in a World Tournament. Granted, the United States did not send their best, but still, it was a pretty big deal, and it won me a beer, so I kind of like that.
Cool. Yeah.
Chauncey Billups, I guess, is he finally also got in. Architect of, I would say, the greatest upset in NBA Finals history in the 2004 Pistons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's you could go back maybe the dark ages of the 70s for a few of them, but I think it's hard to argue that in the modern NBA, which I'd say kind of started with the Celtics Lakers in the 80s. Certainly they're the most unlikely champion.
Right. I mean, a close, maybe the Raptors too were not exactly heavily favored either, but still, nobody gave Billups and company a chance, but they did do it. Multi-time All-Star, multi-time All NBA selection. So I was not surprised. He's been a finalist before, but he never had as easy a ballot as this.
True. I mean, absolutely. I still am pissed about the Celtics trade of Billups in his rookie year. We had Billups and Joe Johnson and traded in the same draft, trading both their rookie year. Do you remember what the trade was for the Billups?
I do not.
It was Chauncey Billups, D. Brown. You remember D. Brown?
I do remember D. Brown, a Raptor for a cup of coffee.
Yeah. So he was also former slam dunk champion. Roy Rogers and John Thomas went to the Raptors in exchange for Kenny Anderson, Popeye Jones, and Zan Tabak. Not exactly. Kenny Anderson was pretty good for the Celtics, not gonna lie, but Popeye Jones and Zan Tabak, not changing the history of the franchise. So
Zan Tabak, I remember him in the early days of the Raptors, and he was crap.
Yes, well, he was worse than that in Boston, but yeah, I still think
there was expectations there, unlike
that's true, and
none.
That's true.
Yeah,
but yeah, Billups. I mean, if Billups and Carter, I thought were very easy people to put in out of this group. So,
useless fact for you: Joe Johnson is one of two players, Dirk Nowitzki being the other, to score for the same team at age 20 and at age 40.
Yeah, you asked me that trivia question on the show.
Did I? Okay, sorry. I couldn't remember that I did that.
Yeah, it was good. I figured it out eventually.
Okay.
He played one game for us in the 2021 season.
Scored one bucket.
Yeah, so anyway, going back to the people, Walter Davis.
Yeah.
All-time leading scorer in Suns history. Six-time All-Star.
Yeah. Interesting too, because he, had that great rookie season, never eclipsed that, which is so rare in basketball. But again, the right class for him.
Yeah, and again, this is a Basketball Hall of Fame, not the NBA Hall of Fame.
Right.
So he won a gold medal in the '76 Olympics. That is something that factors in as to their analysis. As far as we know, I don't know. Right. I mean, we don't know how they're voted for, but Walter Davis is in. Also, we brought up Michael Cooper, a member of 8 NBA All-Defensive teams, first team 5 times. Actually, was Defensive Player of the Year in '87. 12 years with the Lakers, won 5 championships there. But more than I think, also I don't discount this either. WNBA Coach of the Year in 2000 and won back-to-back titles as coach of the Sparks in 01 and 02.
Right.
So that also is going to factor into that.
Yeah, that could very well be it. Although I would think, based on what we understand, it should be just as a player. Saying that, that's actually what sort of set off an article and we were talking about that before we went on in the Athletic, and it was first. God, I'm blanking on his name, but big fan of Cooper's. But he thinks that sort of set off demanding transparency in the Basketball Hall of Fame. So if you've got a big time NBA writer for the Athletic and he's got no idea what's going on, not a whole lot of chances for the rest of us. Someone who I thought should have been in a long time ago, Bo Ryan. I think you and I both agreed on that.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Ryan's a pretty easy one to put in here. I heard I think it was one of the guys on the Ringer said that if you have been with the franchise more than 10 years or even a halfway decent college coach, congratulations, you're going to get in. I don't think Bo Ryan's the person to say that about, though. I mean, he's 32 seasons with a 762 winning percentage, all in Wisconsin schools. So Wisconsin Platteville, Wisconsin Milwaukee, and then University of Wisconsin. 4-time Big Ten Coach of the Year. I mean, essentially took Wisconsin out of a very much an also ran in the Big Ten to a to a title contender multiple times. Made back-to-back Final Four appearances and actually won 4 Division III championships. So
Yeah, so another big name on the women's side, first ballot inductee, Simone Augustus,
mhm.
20th and 25th anniversary teams of WNBA, multi-time champion with Minnesota Lynx, where she played her entire career. Uh,
After being the first overall draft pick.
Yeah, first overall draft pick. Yeah, was it 4 titles, 3 gold medals, 8 All-Stars. What more do you want?
Yeah. Naismith College Player of the Year, back-to-back Wooden Awards.
Mhm.
Like, again, it takes everything into consideration. And I'm like, hey, coach here, whatever. Simone Augustus, it's hard to come up with a better women's player who's available.
Right, and we're gonna be talking a lot more about. Well, I plan to bring up a few things on women's basketball because I've been sort of a big critic and then a big proponent thereof. So I think I sort of we watched my evolution of this, wouldn't you say?
I agree. Yeah, you are very much, your criticism mainly has never been the quality of the players. It's been the support of the product and the way that they do things.
Yeah, and also too sometimes the character of said players.
No, that's also true. You can do that with anything. I mean, it's not
You,
like one of them's been banned from their league for life, though. Like, it just happened
like a
with
current
the Toronto
Raptor,
Raptors.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God. Well,
Banned for the league for life for winning $21,000 worth of bets. So
yeah, somewhere Shohei Ohtani is saying should have got an interpreter.
yeah, although that Shohei Ohtani thing, I mean, I don't think anyone's covering for him because the feds are literally saying he had no knowledge of this.
Bullshit.
I mean, I don't. You can say whatever you want, but the feds. I mean, why would the feds protect him? Yeah, there's no advantage to them protecting him.
Mhm.
So whatever that one. But yeah, this one's pretty clear. That one's pretty clear cut. He bet against the Raptors. Well, he was playing for the Raptors.
Yeah, also in parlays,
So
he also sort of like bet on himself to underperform.
he did that as well. Yeah. But he bet on and he did this all on on online betting sites. So like everything's recorded.
Yeah, at least at the very well, he did better than Shoei's interpreter, whoever it was. He's a better gambler.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So
anyway,
another player, Dick Barnett, champion with the Knicks. But when we talk about sort of like the sum of the parts, part of those great Tennessee, I always forget. Thank you,
Tennessee A&I.
Yeah, that won three Division III titles, I believe, was in a row.
Well, they won NAIA.
NAIA, sorry. So they won it 3 times in a row, which is pretty goddamn
impressive. Yeah, the first historically black school to win a men's basketball title.
Right. And so he was there. He was only a one-time All-Star, but certainly a veteran presence on a very good Knicks team in the early 70s.
And he's already in Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame because those Tennessee A&I teams were inducted in 2019. Right. Also had one of the coolest nicknames in sports, the Skull. Dick the Skull Barnett.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Michelle Timms is our international selection. One of the first really good Australian female players. So there's been a lot of better Aussie women that have come on after her, saying that's got to like pound down to that door. And she was a big part of that. So she was part of the locals who became very, very good.
Yeah, so she has a number retired by the Mercury. She's a member of the Sport Australia Hall of Fame, the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and the FIBA Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so really impressive credentials for her. We got a few more to go. Doug Collins. This is really the sum of the parts because he's inducted as a contributor, but also a decent coach in his own right. Member of the College Basketball Hall of Fame, one hell of a college player. He did broadcast
Yes.
work, CBS, TBS, TNT, ESPN, and NBC. So pretty good selection there. I'm not quite sure what they looked at most, but
I mean, Coach Michael Jordan in Chicago and Washington. So therefore, two-time coach of Michael Jordan. That's what you need.
there you go. Absolutely.
It's gonna help. It's gonna help Terry Francona get in the hall one day, being Michael Jordan's coach.
I was wondering where you're going for that. I forgot that he was there. He was the coach.
Yeah, he was the coach of the Birmingham Barons. He said that being coach of Birmingham Barons, Michael Jordan prepared him for what it was going to be like to be coach in Boston. So
there you go. I'm gonna close with the only 3-time inductee. So I'm just gonna backtrack a bit here. In the women's veterans category, we have Harley Redden. He was the head coach of the Wayland Baptist Flying Queens, and over his duration, they won 6 AAU national championships.
Yeah. Yeah, he went 110-2 in his first 4 years at the school. Yeah. So I mean, I was just saying, pulling that out from a long time ago, but I mean, he was 431 in 66 in 18 years. That seems pretty good.
Yeah. I'm not overly excited about this one, but Herb Simon, inducted as a contributor. Nothing against him, just I guess he's here because he's the longest tenured governor in the NBA. He did win titles in the WNBA. Vinny Los Venusa, I'll give him credit. He reminded me of that. He had a pretty good week, huh? Or a good couple weeks. Gets into the Hall of Fame, and then he gets Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and his Pacers get a very, very hurting and falling apart Milwaukee Bucks team in the first round.
There you go.
So
I
think that's the best chance of upset in the first round is that one. Unless you're counting Cleveland or Orlando. I think Orlando's better than Cleveland. But that's a pretty good chance.
Charles Smith, and I got the right one this time.
Yes, you did.
Has more wins than any other coach in Louisiana high school basketball, has 6 state titles. And the one I think that we never even thought about because we just assumed he was already in this capacity already is Jerry West as an executive. Now a 3-time inductee, as a player and as a member of the 1960 U.S. Gold Olympic team. This is the guy who laid the foundation for everything that was the Showtime Lakers of the 80s. How did this happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's like when they inducted Bill Russell like 3 years ago, right before he died as a coach. And you're like, how is Bill Russell not already in as a coach? Jerry West
coached that long. I mean, Jerry West.
But he's also the first ever African-American coach in the major sports.
Yeah.
And won titles as a player coach. Believe me, there are a lot worse credentials of people in the Basketball Hall of Fame than that. I'm
including
still
some in this class.
Still would like to hear why Casey Jones can't get in, but that's my own thing. But Jerry West, I mean, what are you going to say other than, he's the logo. I mean, no one's more synonymous technically with the NBA than Jerry West. So
you could name the executive of the year, the Jerry West Award. And I don't think that'd be
good.
So I guess sticking with that, go ahead.
No, I have nothing. You're good.
Okay. So I guess we'll stay with basketball. There was 2 significant retirements since we spoke last. Both former Celtics, one a very good Celtic, one not so much. But we'll start off with the real good one who seems to be acting his way out of the Hall of Fame. Someone who is maybe a bubble candidate to me anyway. That's Rajon Rondo.
Yep. 2-time NBA champion, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because you always think of the 2008 Celtics, but you don't necessarily remember the 2020 Lakers.
No. And realistically, he didn't have a whole lot to do with that, but still, at a time, he took over being the face of the Lakers, which I thought was very impressive, considered who he had around him still. To me, I would argue that he was, I think, for a good chunk of time, their best player. Rondo, unfortunately,
for the Celtics, you mean, right?
Yes, for the Celtics.
Because you said the
Yeah,
Lakers.
the Celtics best player, not the Lakers.
Okay. Yeah.
Four-time All-Star, three-time All-NBA. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I'm doing that off the top of my head. Playoff Rondo was a thing.
Playoff Rondo was definitely a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As was sort of like big
Four-time
game.
All-Star.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
well, I was just saying,
What
like,
were you saying?
if it was a national game, I mean, like, you could count on him sort of like to step up. Uh,
Mhm.
did have some issues later on. I mean, injuries obviously piled up, but whether he's done enough to get into the Hall of Fame, I don't know. His actions lately, domestic violence allegations, has not done him any favors.
No.
And some people might be able to get away with that. He's not one of them, I don't think. Like I don't, I wonder if Dwight Howard down the road will be able to get in. But Dwight Howard was on a higher level than Rondo overall.
I agree with that. I mean, Rondo's career average, he averaged less than 10 points per game for his career.
Sure,
So
but sort of Ben Wallace.
true, but I mean, and again,
Yeah.
Rondo led the league in steals
Mhm.
Per game in 20 at once and assists per game 3 times. But Ben Wallace was, I don't know. It's interesting to see. Whereas I just don't think, I mean, Ben Wallace also had how many teams they played for?
Oh God, I don't even know.
Just
Off the top of my head.
probably a couple. I can't think of more than maybe.
Yeah.
Was he on anything other than the Pistons? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm sure he might have at the end of his career.
Yeah, he was. I just can't remember off the top of my head which I did.
Okay. Rondo was on 9 teams.
He was on 9, yeah. Realistically, only good for 2 of them, the first 2. But you know, he had that reputation where it's like, well, we got to take a chance re-signing Rondo. We got to pull that trigger.
Yeah. So I don't personally think he'll be a Hall of Famer. I don't think he should be, but the way we're going, they're gonna look back and be like, well, we got everyone else on that Celtics team, all the starters, and well, he'll get in before Kendrick Perkins. But he's a member of 2 championship teams. He played with LeBron, he played with Garnett. Like years from now, we may end up that situation. I still think, though, he's a pretty weak candidate.
Here's another one that's really interesting to me. So we have Blake Griffin. Griffin, former Rookie of the Year, like Walter Davis. You could argue that maybe his rookie year was one of his best. He really did capture the imagination of the league. 6-time All-Star, the first 5 in a row. And then another one when he was traded from the Clippers to Detroit, where he had one last good season, and then just all the injuries just kept piling up, and he was just a shell, and he couldn't dunk anymore, and he had to like rely on his basketball IQ. Multiple time, what was he? 3-time second team All NBA, twice third team. Finished in the top 10 in MVP voting 3 times, one including his rookie year. Highest finish in third, but never got out of the second round with some pretty good, with a really good teammate in Lob City with Chris Paul. Finally gave the Clippers hope, but just never could do it. And we've seen that with T-Mac that didn't really matter, but I don't know. His rebounding also sort of like fell off quite a bit after his first few years. Massively popular. I mean,
we loved him in Boston last year. Actually, that's the furthest he ever made in the playoffs, was with losing in the Eastern Conference Finals last year with the Celtics.
Yeah, I forgot on that team.
Yeah, well, the Celtics actually, they pretty much have left a 15th spot open on the team all year. And Griffin had a standing offer to come back if he wanted to. He admitted said that when he retired officially. But just was like tired of the travel and everything else. So the only team he would have come back to is Boston because he loves those guys, but he just wasn't in the right mental frame of mind to do it. So
I think also too, he's probably not. You go there, Boston's a top contender, obviously for the NBA championship this year. But then do you want to sort of like be Juwan Howard on the Heat? You
I
know,
mean, that's what he was last year. That's what he was last year, though. And essentially, his spot was taken by Nemias Keita, the guy who we had from the Sacramento Kings, who actually ended up signing for next year, who I really enjoy. Yeah, actually, the Celtics doing so well probably cost the Maine Celtics were in the G League Finals in Game 3, and all their guys were exhausted because the Celtics were so far ahead they rested everybody, and so the entire G League team basically had played 6 games in 9 days when they got to the final. They got beaten by the Oklahoma City Blue, which is the Thunder's minor league team. But no, Griffin is a much better candidate than Rondo, more prominent in the league, although, like you said, doesn't have the playoff success of Rondo. But also never played with Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen on one side, although he did play with Chris Paul, who's a pretty good player. So, and also got eliminated from the playoffs again yesterday. So Chris Paul is not going to be going to the NBA Finals. Probably looks like at any point in his career. So
no, but he is going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah,
no question on that.
So I want to move this to women's basketball. First off, congratulations. Well, obviously to all schools, to Purdue in the men's, but for the first time ever, and I think a lot of people predicted that this was going to happen, that the women's game outviewed rather the men's final. And you could sum that up in 2 words, Caitlin Clark. You said, actually, you were the one who brought this up first, because I've been sort of like, I think it was only a year ago, I had this whole 10-point plan how to make the WNBA profitable. I could have just summed it up in 2 words, Caitlin Clark, but I did not see this boom of hers coming. I didn't see it.
I do think it's interesting the flashback she was getting, particularly from the former UConn players. Like, if she doesn't win a championship, she's nothing. Like, okay, you've been on teams with like 5 people who all went professional. Like, one of Caitlin Clark's teammates got drafted. I was a little surprised by that, but the other one's not going anywhere.
So was she. She was just there to support Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, she wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
So, but like the rest of those ladies aren't going anywhere, right?
They're not.
UConn repeatedly has 5 drafted people. So Caitlin Clark dragged on her own. It's just the ripping down by Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird and people. Just
that's what I wanted to talk about, Evan. But before we do that, I want to give you credit because you had said, well, the thing that would have, I don't know if it's necessarily credit, but it's something that now is echoing what you had said before. You said that the WNBA would be saved if Gianna Bryant. I apologize. Yeah. Yes, I couldn't remember.
Kobe's daughter,
and that would have captured the attention. Now, Caitlin Clark, although she did do that, super well last year. I mean, I've seen this play out before. Taurasi, big star in college, less of a deal as a pro. Same with Brittany Griner. Same with Rebecca Lobo. It happens over and over and over again. Now,
Shamika Holtzclaw, Sue Bird,
right?
Just keep going and going.
Yeah, absolutely. Where they just sort of get wasted away in the pros. Now, and sadly, this sort of brought up the whole page gap issue, which just all the people who are sort of like bringing that up now clearly are people who have no idea that the WNBA has never been profitable ever. This is now,
and as someone said online, if you want the women to make more money, buy tickets and merchandise. The more merchandise and tickets you buy, the more money.
She's 1,000% right. Jamel may say a lot of things that a lot of people don't agree with, myself included, but that's 1,000% right. It's why Serena Williams was the biggest tennis star in the United States for 20 years. Not because she could beat the men, she couldn't, but we paid to watch her.
And that's ultimately why the women's U.S. soccer team got pay equity with the men, because they draw. I mean, they don't draw as much, but they're a much more successful
It was a
organization.
pretty sweetheart deal that they got. And I could go off.
Oh, it was 100%. No, I'm not saying it's not. It was 100% sweetheart deal.
Yeah.
But they win championships and internationally.
Yes, they
and
did.
they have their games here draw, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first and maybe only time that the women's championship outdrew the men's championship.
Yeah,
it may never happen again.
Yeah, it may not. So let's talk about sort of the people who are trying to tear her down. Which and I get it that the Diana Taurasi's of the world and the Sue Birds of the world aren't exactly thrilled on some level. It's a lot of jealousy going on. No one can tell me otherwise.
Yeah, and UConn had just lost. And just by the way, that was a foul. I don't care what anyone says. That was a moving pick.
Yeah,
like she stuck her entire leg out and was still moving. It was a moving pick. You're like, well, they didn't call her in the game. Okay. But they called it then, and it was a correct call. And she didn't make those free throws. Had they gotten the rebound, they would have had a shot, and they didn't get their rebound either. So there's a whole bunch of bitterness. It's the worst call I've ever seen. And the first time I saw it, I said, because I don't have a dog in that fight, I don't care. I was like, what are you talking about? It's clearly a definition of a moving pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it totally was. Saying that, so then we look at what. Okay, so maybe this is on sexist. I don't care, but you see it all the time where women tear down other women, and this is sort of what we have. And yeah, it sucks for the Diana Taurasi, who is, if you were to say that she's the GOAT of American women's basketball, I wouldn't necessarily disagree. She's the all-time leading scorer of the WNBA, but bottom line is Diana didn't move tickets very much. She just didn't. If she were to walk out somewhere with her hair down, no one would know who it was. I've never seen her not with her hair up in the 20 years that she's been playing basketball. You know, so it didn't happen soon enough for you to get the money that you probably should have got based on your talent. It sucks, but that's life.
Yeah.
It's just so Caitlin's gonna be that person, and she gives credit to all the people who knocked down the door so that she could burst through, and she's the savior that league has needed. Indiana only drew less than a little bit more than 4,000 last year. What are they going to draw this year? They're going to be the biggest.
And if there's a state mad about basketball on all levels in this country, it's Indiana.
Well, okay, so in your town, Chicago, so they picked up the two players who beat her in college, in Cardoso from South Carolina and Angel Reese in LSU. Is that not they've just set up automatically Winnie out of there. So they've just set up automatically this giant rivalry for years to come. The draft drew over 2 million, more than an actual game ever did. This is huge. And
even I watched some of the draft, and I've never watched a WNBA draft in my life. So
I didn't watch it, but I was watching the tracker. So I've never done that. I did a show with Vinny on the day of the final game, and I had to say, Vin, 5 more minutes, because I wanted to watch the end of it, even though it was kind of not in doubt anymore, but still. This woman is a superstar. This woman will sell seats. She will put eyeballs there. So if you've got a problem with that, shut up. If you're another player.
And she's also polished as a interview or an interviewee. Like, she was asked questions, how do you feel about stuff? And she just never goes negative. She's always positive. She has thoughtful things to say. I don't know if you saw what happened in the press conference today, which was introduced.
I saw a trend, which it was just a stupid. Well, I mean, I'm not going to cancel the guy over it, but it was a sort of.
I'm not going, but even that, where so if you guys didn't know, she makes a little heart symbol for her family. And the guy's like, if you do that to me, you and I won't have any problems. And she just like smiled at him rather than be like,
Yeah, thanks, Uncle Creepy. But
yeah, crawl back under the rock, please.
Yeah,
so
but I mean, like,
yeah, it was
that's
not the finest day for journalism in Indiana. So
no, I
but anyway,
suppose.
sorry, which segues something very quickly. Speaking
Sure.
of the finest day for journalism in Indiana, my brother, I was there a couple weeks ago, was inducted in the Indiana Sports Media Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there for a speech in Gardner, Indiana, 2 weeks ago. So
There you go.
anyway, let's throw that out there. That was a great day
as you
for
should,
journalism.
yeah.
And it's his birthday today.
Oh, well, there we go. Happy birthday.
Happy 65th birthday to my brother.
There you go.
So
happy birthday, Jack Nolan. And then congrats to the WNBA. You've got something, but if I'm the commissioner, and one day I should be, I'm telling pretty much the women there, shut up. You got a problem with her? You got a problem with me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry and I'm sure there's a lot of people who like her because she's white. If that's the reason you like her, piss on you. If you like her because she's straight, that's a shitty reason, piss on you too. But if you've got a problem with her because she's white and straight, and I think some of the players might, piss on you too. You've been wanting more money for a long time, and here's your catalyst to get it.
Yeah. I mean, but Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird are both white, so I'm not sure exactly what we get at. True. But I don't know. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they both of them, I can't remember. Was Sue Bird a #1 pick? I think so.
I think she was. I can't remember.
So I mean, I get why they're sort of thinking like, this garbage. How is this like, this should have happened to me, and I don't blame them for maybe thinking that at one point. How do you not? But that's just how it was. People like who the people like.
I think they should be kissing her royal pinky ring.
Damn right.
That she's going to WNBA and not taking that big 3 money.
Well, maybe she will.
Taking a gig. She's taking a gig with the WNBA where she's making $72,000 a year. They offered her $5.3 million for the big 3.
Right, but she's also she's got deals with State Farm and other things.
Oh, I get it, but she could just take the $5.3 million. If she fails, end up back in the WNBA. But if she did that, it would destroy the league. If she failed on the big 3 level.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So I mean, like, all the hate towards her, or the jealousy towards it. I mean, sorry, I'll use that Lombardi quote. Coach, do you treat everybody the same? And his answer was, no, I treat them fair, which is why I don't treat them equally. I butchered that, but that's essentially what it is. Gretzky had a certain set of rules too. Everyone, I think, was kissing Tiger Woods' ass at one point, and they should. I'm going to use a wrestling analogy, but wrestlers used to like just thank Hulk Hogan when they were booked on one of those tours in the 80s. They were making a hell of a lot more money than if they were on Hogan's tour than if they weren't on someone else's. This is what they've needed. This is what they have. Ratings will go up. Attendance will go up. Las Vegas for the Indiana coming in game, a home game or away game. Sorry, the Vegas's home game against Indiana has already been moved to a different facility. I now live in a WNBA city. I will try to go see her live.
Yeah, one thing I will say for the league is they have a lot of talented people who don't get off the bench because there aren't enough teams. And I know there's the idea of expanding is an anathema when you're not making money. But if they're ever going to do it, this is kind of the time to get that going.
They've got a 13th team coming. I want to say Portland. I could be wrong, but 14th one is they announced that they're looking to plan that, which you're always better off when you've got even numbers. Period. But it's not just Clark. Cardoso's a big name, the Brazilian from South Carolina. The Angel Reese is a name, and she fell.
Angel Reese is a big name too. Yep.
She's a big name. I like the trash talkers personally. I like that.
Yeah, but you can't just have nothing but good guys. Yeah. You need some people with some edge. So
all right. I don't think she's a bad person. I just think she likes to talk trash. Wow, big shock that a basketball player likes to do that, huh?
Well, I mean, guys like Larry Bird and Michael Jordan never talk trash. So
No, 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 never, never. So no,
yeah. Anyway,
but yeah. So I just wanted to sort of like go off on that, and it's she deserves everything that she's getting, and if she lifts up that league single handedly,
cool.
good on her. Uh,
Yep.
I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah,
So
go ahead.
I was gonna say we have one more thing to cover before we get moving into the other stuff,
Yeah, go ahead.
which is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame fans ballot is closed, and they're going to make the live announcement on the 21st, which I believe is let's see, today's the 17th, so that's gonna be Sunday.
Yeah.
On American Idol.
Well,
which is an interesting way. First of all, I'm in favor of this because for the first time ever, we know when it is a week in advance, which is
I'm
an
in
improvement.
too.
Which is an improvement of Rock Hall, and also we don't get the awkward guy making like the weird announcement. But just to give you an idea, who do you think were the top? Because now everyone can vote for 7 of the 15 inductees this year. So who do you think the top 7 were in the fans ballot? I know you haven't looked at this.
I haven't looked at it at all. So I'm just gonna guess Ozzy.
Ozzy was 4th.
Ozzy was 4th. Okay, I would have thought he would have been first. Mariah Carey.
She was 8th.
Oh, all right. Foreigner.
Foreigner's 3rd.
Dave Matthews. Didn't he win it once? So
Dave Matthews has won it again.
Okay.
586,000 votes. Foreigner had 527.
Okay.
Ozzy 480.
Let's see. Sade finished last.
No, she finished 11th.
Okay.
162,000 votes.
Let's see. Tribe couldn't have done top.
Tribe finished 14th.
Okay. Yeah. They finished last. Who would it be? Well, no, I already got who's top. Who's second?
You got 1, 3, and 4. I'm looking for the others.
Okay. Kravitz?
Kravitz finished 6th with 310,000.
Oh, sure.
Cher finished 5th with 339,000. So right, number 2 and number 7.
I'm blanking on who's on who's left.
The one who we all want in the most, at least all of us who sort of follow the hall and been waiting for them to get in. No, Oasis is 10th, right ahead of Sade, 166,000.
Who we all want?
Only one member of the band left.
I'm blanking. I
the lead guy.
Remember.
So 7th is Kool and the Gang.
Yeah.
At 286,000. But number 2, shockingly to me, just 1,300 more votes than Foreigner. Peter Frampton finished 2nd.
I forgot about him, that he was even nominated.
Yeah, so Dave Matthews Band, Peter Frampton, Foreigner, Ozzy Osbourne, Cher, Lenny Kravitz, Kool and the Gang. Mm-hmm. Mariah Carey was a close 8th, and then it's further away for Sinead O'Connor was 9th, Oasis 10th, Sade 11th, Jane's Addiction 12th, Mary J. Blige 13th, Tribe Called Quest 14th, and shocking everybody, Eric B. and Rakim finished last with 55,000 of the 4.2 million votes cast.
Ooh, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So I mean, they're just call it now. They're the musical excellence. They're going to get in musical excellence.
Yeah, because they're going to find a way to crowbar everything up. Let's see if we can get a special. Oh God.
I was going to say the thing I'm interested in is, since we're doing this on American Idol, is this going to be a more populist rock hall, or what are we going to do? I just think it's interesting doing it that way rather than at the museum. So,
well, I think, like you said, kudos. At least now we know an hour, because let's say even when they announce what day it's going to be, we'll drop it like 5.
It's usually like 7 in the morning.
Yeah,
it's some ridiculous time. It's like 7 in the morning East Coast time. I wake up for work and it's already been announced. So,
just so stupid. I mean, I think I said that they should do it like during like a regular festival like Coachella or something. But I mean, American Idol. I mean,
No one at Coachella wouldn't know what any of those things are. So,
well, if you're doing a broadcast, though,
I suppose that's true.
yeah.
So
I mean, either way, I mean, American Idol. I don't know that that's necessary. So, does that mean Kelly Clarkson's a lock later?
maybe. I mean, I just wonder if that makes it more likely for someone like Mariah Carey to get in. It's just what I'm thinking.
It
So,
could be. I don't even. I haven't
but
watched that show in the reincarnation, so I
nope, me neither.
I
So
don't.
I accidentally saw some of The Voice for the first time in years, when we were down in DC, because we only had like 6 channels on the TV and I needed something to watch while I was eating dinner. But yeah, it's the most successful music show, but it's a long way from something I care about. But anyway, should we move into the death rattle here?
Yeah, yeah. We haven't done this in a few weeks, so I don't know if you're doing all of them or you're just going to.
I'm not going to do all of them. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm going to stick with. I'll save some for next week.
Okay.
I got a whole bunch of them here. I will say we did have a couple victims of the beige mistress. Starting with Sandor Mueller, who played for the Hungarian national football team, was a member at the 1982 World Cup in Spain. He passed away at the age of 75. And Marta Paterdi Wolf, who was a professional tennis player, who died at the age of 101.
Oh,
so there you go. She made it to the 3rd round of a whole bunch of stuff. You may say she died of old age. I say it's clearly an underreported serial killer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A couple famous people who passed away. I just want to mention quickly. Do you guys get the McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour up there? As a PBS?
I know what it is,
here.
but I've never watched it.
So Lehrer died years and years ago. McNeil passed away at the age of 93, originally from Quebec, but he passed away at the age of 93. Also passing away, Lou Conter, the last survivor of the USS Arizona that was sunk in Pearl Harbor in 1941.
Oh, wow.
He passed away at the age of 102. So, also passing away, this is more for my wife than anyone else, Lynn Reed Banks, best known for writing The Indian in the Cupboard, which is a childhood classic here in the United States. Pretty much all of us had to read it in like 3rd grade. But she passed away at the age of 94. I heard that. One other guy I have to bring up. What?
I was saying I read that when I took a course on children's literature.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And that's what I had to bring up. Joe Flaherty died of SCTV.
Yeah.
One of the 5 neat guys. And of course, you will not make this shot, you jackass. From Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, Flaherty never.
One of the best.
But yeah, certainly iconic in Canada. But yeah, go ahead.
No, also, I mean, if you like Freaks and Geeks, you love Joe Flaherty because he was like the best dad on GT Freaks and Geeks.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he was the
dad. Yeah. So he was 82. So
Count Floyd.
There aren't that many of those. I'm sorry?
Count Floyd.
Count Floyd, yes.
Guy Cavalier,
so, anyway.
The owner of SCTV. Or was he the owner or the general manager? I forget.
I forget too. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. We lost the wrestler Tony Jones. Do you know anything about him?
No, I'm not familiar with him.
Okay. He was passed away at the age of 53. Was California-based All Pro Wrestling, Ultimate Pro Wrestling.
I know who that is. He was in the documentary Beyond the Mat, in a tryout match for WWF at the time, which
could have been.
He didn't make it, so that would have been 97, 98. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, he also had the ring name of Hard to Kill at some point.
It's not that
He
hard.
passed away. He passed away at the age of 53. So I guess you're correct on that, sadly. From the world of motorcycle racing, Pat Hennon, who won Grand Prix of he was in the Grand Prix Motorcycle Racing World Champion 76 to 78 and a member of the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. He passed away at the age of 70. From the world of music, Michael Ward, best known for his work as guitarist on the Wallflowers Bringing Down the Horse album. Also a member of School of Fish and Go Go Bordello. He passed away at the age of 57. Also one of Ben Harper's Innocent Criminals. So his backing band. Also passing away, Albert Heath of the Heath Brothers, the jazz group, very, very well known. He passed away at the age of 88 of leukemia. Mr. C, born Calvin LeBrun, a radio personality on Radio 103.9 in New York. Credited with the discovery of both Big Daddy Kane and the Notorious B.I.G. He was actually their executive producer for both of their debut albums. He passed away at the age of 57. Cause of death was not immediately revealed. So, Pooch Tavares of the Tavares Brothers, do you know them? They're big in New England.
I think they got a couple tracks on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
They might. They have Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel is probably the biggest hit from 76. Very well known in Boston because they are Cabo Verdense, Cape Verdean. And I swear there more Cape Verdeans live in Boston than have to live in Cape Verde. But he passed away. He's the lead singer. Pooch Tavares passed away at the age of, hold on a second, of 81 today. Lucy Rimmer, guitarist for The Fall. She also passed away today. I'm sorry, not today. She passed away on the 12th. I don't know how old she was, but she was a guitar player and vocalist for The Fall. Do you remember The Fall from the 80s?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't quite my thing, but I do remember them.
Okay. Rico Wade, the guy who was in charge of the Organized Noise label, who best known for producing Waterfalls, Don't Let Go, Saturday by Ludacris, So Fresh and So Clean by Outkast, and a few others. Rico Wade passed away at the age of 52. So also wrote Players Ball as well. Jerry Abbott, the father of Vinnie Paul and Dimebag Darrell, passed away at the age of 82. Outlived both of his kids there. I'm sorry, 81. Outlived both of his kids. He was a country music songwriter and record producer.
Okay.
But he was 81 years old. He was 5 days short of being 82. Guy who's gotten some consideration for the Rock Hall, Clarence Frogman Henry, passed away at the age of 87. Best known for I Ain't Got No Home and I Don't Know Why, But I Do. An R&B singer from the 50s and 60s. As I said, passed away at the age of 87. He was still playing basically up until his death. He started performing in 1952 and was playing in 2024. So 72 years later. That's a pretty long career.
Oh, very much so.
CJ Snare passed away, the frontman and founding member of Firehouse. Do you remember Firehouse?
Weren't they like one of those hair metal bands from the late 80s?
They're a hair metal band, exactly right. Maybe technically glam metal, but he was the lead singer for them for their entire history. He passed away at the age of 64. That's it for music. Going into football, Larry Beidle, a member of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame and Catawba Sports Hall of Fame, and coach of a whole bunch of college football teams, mostly William and Mary Catawba, and also offensive line coach for the Falcons, Buccaneers, Chargers, Jets, Oilers, Dolphins, Packers, and Lions. Just that many. Passed away at the age of 81. Victor Riley, a member of the Chiefs, Saints, and Texans, a offensive tackle, passed away at the age of 49. Played 111 games in the NFL, starting 93. Do you remember Victor Riley?
Not that well.
With the Saints?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
Jim Hobson, member of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, offensive lineman with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and then the CEO of the Roughriders, and was in charge then when they captured Grey Cup in 07 and 13. He passed away at the age of 73. Steve Sloan, two-time national champion as quarterback of Alabama in the 60s. He passed away at the age of 79. Eric Severs, tight end for the Chargers, Rams, and Patriots, where I remember him from more than anything else. He played mostly for the Chargers from 81 to 88. He passed away on April 10th at the age of 66. Not the person who we from football remember most dying on April 10th. We'll get to him in a second. Mike Colon, member of the Miami Dolphins from 70 79, a linebacker, member of both Super Bowl championship teams for the Dolphins in the 70s. He passed away at the age of 76. Vontae Davis passed away at only the age of 35, two-time Pro Bowler with the Dolphins, Colts, and Bills. A really weird guy in many ways, probably famous for the way he quit football more than anything, which was in the middle of a game. He just made a big stop and went to the sidelines. He's like, man, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, I'm done. He went to the locker room, took off his stuff, and retired in the football game.
Pro Football Reference right after. I don't know who would have done that. I should have asked when I talked to the guys who ran Sports Reference. They put, I think they changed it, but they put briefly his stats for the year, and they used 6.5 or something, whatever games it was.
That's funny.
But you gotta wonder, right? Because like, did we ever find out how he died? Was it suicide, right?
Let me see here. It said foul play is not suspected. The investigation will continue. Found dead by his grandmother at his home.
Because it certainly makes you wonder like, what kind of it's not the most normal behavior.
So for those who he was the brother of Burns, the tight end. So yeah, but he was only 35. Then the biggest name who passed away in football, I guess the search for his wife's killers are over. O.J. Simpson passed away at the age of 76. I don't know, and Bill Simmons did a little thing on his podcast, which I thought was pretty good. I don't know if there's an American story as weird as OJ's.
Having sort of lived through that, in the early 90s, so it would have been like a late teen, that went on for years, really. The chase and, then the trial and just the celebrity of Judge Lance Ito, which is weird in itself that even happened. Mm-hmm. The most, I still remember what a lot of people first thought, when that happened, like, OJ, he seems so nice. Couldn't have done it. And,
right.
Like, so back, it's 94 is not even, or 93, whatever it was, it's not even all that long ago. But here you have DNA evidence, and everyone's wondering at that time, what's DNA? Now, who doesn't know what that is now? But
right,
they didn't then. It's the strangest ever story. I remember like right after, and they women's group sort of like stopped them from doing this, but City TV, which is an independent station in Toronto, so like right after all this sort of happened, they decided they were going to do like an OJ Simpson film festival,
Oh boy.
which they thought better of it, but yeah, still kind of not to make
Yeah. So,
light of the whole
so
thing, but
somebody pointed out that that at Felicia Rashad and Ahmad Rashad's wedding, Debbie Allen was there, of course, as Felicia Rashad's sister, but the other two attendants at that wedding were O.J. Simpson and Bill Cosby. So it's just a very odd wedding photo when you see it.
I gotta see it. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, there's a type in Rashad wedding Toronto Star. The Toronto Star had a good thing back in 2016 on it. But yeah, the photo is OJ, Ahmad, Bill Cosby, Felicia Rashad, Debbie Allen, and whoever the pastor is. But yeah, that's
Bruce Jenner was there because him and OJ were super tight.
well, there's a picture of that was going on. It's like there's a picture of Howard Cosell with Bruce Jenner on one side and OJ Simpson on the other. He goes, "I'm Howard Cosell, back from the future, and you're not gonna believe what I know."
Oh my god.
So yeah,
Technically,
yeah,
technically, none of them exist anymore.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
OJ Simpson dead at the age of 76.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that just leaves me with baseball, basically.
Okay. A couple big ones.
So Pat Zachary, member of the 76 Cincinnati Reds, pitcher, also played the Mets, Dodgers, and Phillies.
Yeah.
All-Star in 78, Rookie of the Year in 76 in the NL. He passed away at the age of 71.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Yeah. Also passing away, Larry Brown, the infielder, played with the Indians, Athletics, Orioles, and Rangers from 63 to 74. He passed away at the age of 84. Jerry Grote, a member of the 69 Amazing Mets, two-time All-Star. Also played for the Houston Colt 45s, Dodgers, Royals, and Dodgers again. He passed away at the age of 81. Apparently, he wasn't on the team in 81 when the Dodgers won the World Series because he's a member of the 81 team, but he's not credited as having won the World Series with them. Tony Palermo, another one of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball Leagues. She passed away at the age of 91, playing for the Chicago Colleens and the Springfield Sallies. Ken Holtzman, speaking of people who played in Chicago, two-time All-Star in 72 and 73, won 3 World Series with the A's from in 72, 73, and 74, pitched 2 no-hitters, and a member of the Chicago Cubs Hall of Fame. Ken Holtzman passed away at the age of 78. Won 174 games in baseball, which the way baseball is going is approximately 100 games more than the next wave of guys in the Baseball Hall of Fame are going to win. So, also passing away, Carl Erskine, one of the 2 remaining members of that 1955 amazing Brooklyn Dodgers team. He passed away at the age of 97. Pitched 2 no-hitters. Yep. One-time All-Star. 122 and 78 with a 4.0 ERA. Retired at the age of 32. Also retired early. Known as Oysk because of the Brooklyn accent. You couldn't say Erskine. He passed away at the age of 97. And finally, the biggest name in baseball who passed away this week, Whitey Herzog. He passed away at the age of 92, known for Whitey Ball, which would not fly today, but basically updated the Cardinals teams and won them 1 World Series. Should have won them a second. Let's just say the guy at first base for the Royals was out. Don Denkinger may have been wrong about that. But he passed away at the age of 92. NL Manager of the Year. His numbers retired by the Cardinals. Member of the Royals Hall of Fame, Cardinals Hall of Fame, It played for the Senators, Athletics, Orioles, and Tigers. Elected in 2010 to the Baseball Hall of Fame by the Veterans Committee with an 87.5% vote. Hard to argue.
Yeah, when I was sort of like reading about that, and it was sort of like my coming of age watching baseball. So I remember the whole Whitey ball and whatnot, and it was just basically really good defense and a lot of speed. Uh, I mean, who was their biggest slugger? Jack Clark, I think, at one point, and then
Yeah.
George Hendrick before that. Real, I think he only had one Hall of Famer on that team, which would have been Ozzie Simmons.
Ozzie
Simmons, sorry, Ozzie Smith. I was thinking of Ted Simmons, and I was trying to think in my head, was he in St. Louis at that point? Because I know he was there a brief period of time, mostly with Milwaukee, but
I don't
backwards.
I don't know Ted Simmons' career well enough to know where he was.
Bruce Sutter.
Point, so
Bruce Sutter.
Bruce Sutter was on those teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and was Seaver on those teams eventually? Seaver might have been on those teams for one of those years.
I don't remember him on St. Louis.
Hold on, maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong many times before. No, he never played for them. I was thinking with him at the Reds. That's my problem. The red uniform in my head. Yeah, so, but yeah, so one of the greatest managers of the last 50 years, Whitey Herzog. So,
all right. I don't have a good and bad and ugly. I mean, I probably could have like scrambled for some, but it seems a little bit late now for that.
I'm good, bad, and ugly.
Good, ugly. Sorry, I don't have any elevator up, elevator down. Sorry, it's been a long week. I've been moving.
Got it. So I'll just go into my bad. I'm gonna take a second to talk about sudden relocation of sports teams. The A's moving to Sacramento is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my entire life. And to top that off, the Coyotes are moving to Salt Lake City. Not that they're moving out of Phoenix, or I guess technically Glendale, is any real surprise based off of how things have gone. But like, that one seems like a step above the Colts moving out of Baltimore with Mayflower buses in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's just seems like it's both of these seem so haphazard and strangely planned. I don't understand how the league is allowing in either situation. Well, I know how baseball's playing because Rob Manfred just wants baseball to end. But Gary Bettman has been a Hall of Fame commissioner since he got in the Hall of Fame. And this is a very, very strange move because let's be honest, Salt Lake City is not high on anyone's list for the next hot spot to get a hockey team.
Maybe it was just the easiest one that he could pull off really quickly and avoid having to go back to Canada, which he doesn't want to do.
I mean, Kansas City's probably ready for one. They've been ready for a while. They built an arena years ago, trying to get a team, and just haven't gotten one yet. So I don't know. It's interesting. I just think it's the Oakland one makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. That guy is just an a-hole and needs to sell the team. But he's not going to move to. He got a better deal offered in Oakland than he got from Vegas. The space in Vegas isn't big enough for what he wants to do. The space in Oakland would be big enough, but he turned him down. So instead, he's going from the fifth largest media market. I know they'd have to share it with the Giants to the Sacramento's the 30-somethingth biggest media market.
I got no idea. I was tweeting that since they're going into a AAA stadium, they should call them the Sacramento AAAs.
Oh, that's a nice one. I like that. That's a good
one.
But if they leave Oakland, which apparently they're going to do, they are never returning. No baseball team will ever return to Oakland because the Giants will call Giants will just call territorial rights forever, and they've basically locked up the whole Bay Area.
No team, period, in any major sport is going to Oakland ever again,
which is insane. They had all four sports, and they've lost all four, three of which in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
So, It's just sad. I don't like the way it's happening. It's bad. It's not going to be ugly until I really see everything actually happen, but it is bad.
Mhm.
So I'm going to spend some time in the ugly. So for the good, I just want to say that I say this pretty much every time. I'm massively looking forward to the hockey and basketball playoffs here. I got Bruins Maple Leafs, which is amazing for me. I'm worried. I don't know. Are you watching the basketball games? Do you care if I give you the scores?
Do I? Well, no, I'm watching it. Yeah, but I'm more invested in hockey for this one because
Okay. So it looks like the Sixers beat the Heat by 1 point. So it looks like it's lining up for the Heat to play the Celtics, which is just what I want. But I'm just excited. There are more good basketball players now than there have been at probably at any point in my life.
Mhm.
And I know my Celtics team won the whole league by 14 games. But there's just, I mean, there are just so many good players. Usually when you get to like a first team, second team, third team, all NBA, you get that third team, you're like, I don't know, maybe. There's probably like 24, 25 players you could put in those 15 player spots, which is very, very remarkable to me. So I'm just excited for everything that's going to be happening here over the next few months. So that's what I'm going to say. Also, a quick congratulations to Nikita Kucherov of the Lightning. Becomes the 5th ever player with 100 assists in the season tonight, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and he still probably won't win the Hart. I think that's going to go to McKinnon.
That may be true. Yeah. That may be true. So
same would have been true.
But then
Matthews got goal 70, which I don't believe he did. So he could have got 70 goals and still not win the Hart either. So that's
crazy. Let me do stats here. I'll just grab the stats quickly.
I'm pretty sure
Kucherov's 144 points. No, Matthews ended up just short. By the way, Austin Matthews, the greatest success of the Coyotes franchise, because he was never going to play hockey had they not moved. Because for those who don't know, he's from Phoenix. So Toronto can scoff all they want. Their team would suck without Phoenix ever having had a hockey team. Yeah, he ended up with 69 goals, which is very nice. Anyway, so the last thing I want to go into is the incredible fall from grace over the last 3 months of one of the most beloved owners in many ways, at least by his own fans in sports, Bob Kraft.
Okay, I've been. What's happened in the last?
So ever since Bill Belichick left, Bob Kraft has been on a rampage at the Boston Red Sox, and Larry Lucchino, who also passed away. I missed Larry Lucchino. He passed away at the end of last month. Would have been proud of the ripping they did of Terry Francona when he left the city. Belichick was probably needed to move on. I get it. I thought he would get another year, but the team was so bad last year, or at least the record was so bad. The defense was good. The quarterback was shell-shocked. But on his way out the door, he commissioned that dynasty piece, which basically guys would go in and they talk for 4 hours and they try to be fair about stuff like, hey, this is what went well. This is what didn't go so well. And only the stuff they said that didn't go so well is what got used. Guys like Matthew Slater and Rodney Harrison were really pretty pissed off at the way the whole thing was portrayed. Mm-hmm. And it just looked like a bitter hit piece on Belichick where Kraft wanted more credit for what happened than actually did. Then they have the report that comes out on how the facilities are for each franchise. And the Patriots were 31st out of 32 franchises overall, but how cheap they are. And stories come out about how the Revolution weren't allowed to eat the food at the thing without paying for it, which is crazy. Showery Joseph, I believe, ended up paying for his teammates in order to eat the food, and then they changed it. And now Kraft says some big changes are being made to upgrade things, but we shouldn't take that to let you know.
Right.
Then or earlier in the offseason, they said they had over $100 million to spend on free agents. They got nobody, they resigned their own guys and guys they wanted to keep. I get that, but they got no big free agents. There are wide receivers galore out there for the taking. They got none. None, not a single one came their way. We still have like $40 million of cap space. And I don't even know who are you going to spend it on. So at the beginning of the season, they said we're full throttle, and full throttle has been quarter throttle at this point. Mm-hmm. And then finally, the report came out today on ESPN. I don't know if you saw that Arthur Blank asked Kraft his opinion on Belichick, and Kraft basically said Belichick will stab you in the back. Don't hire him. And which is one of those things you wouldn't necessarily believe, mm-hmm. except for the fact that all this other stuff has happened. He just seems like a bitter, angry old man at a guy who helped him win 6 championships. I don't get it. Now, I know that I said that the Hall of Fame was a straight line for him this year for the contributor spot. They wanted to get a slam dunk candidate. He has unslam dunked himself since the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't think now he's getting in the next couple of years. He has made himself toxic. Like, he needs to do a whole bunch of damage control, because if he goes there, Patriots fans will come to boo him, which is crazy.
Which is inconceivable.
That's how badly he's bungled this over the last time. And the Red Sox right now are run by a guy who led them to are financing the 4 championships, as now the most hated owner in Boston, which is crazy because Jeremy Jacobs still owns Boston Bruins. Mm-hmm. But he's now the most hated man. Kraft has also been passed, or Jacobs has also passed Kraft, although Jacobs just stayed as bad as he was and Kraft fell below him. It's just stunning to me as to what he has. He's just shot himself in the foot over and over and over again with no reason. There's like literally no reason to do any of this
other than ego.
And he's just
got a bigger
he had to be he just has made himself look awful. So I don't know how he fixes it, but you want an elevator down. This is an elevator that is plummeting, and he has to figure out how to catch it before it hits the rock bottom.
See, that's why I didn't come up with one. I figured you're going to have my back there.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up because it's just getting worse and worse. Like, you can literally be like, he went to a massage parlor and got a hand job, and I believe, oh wait, no, that happened years ago.
I didn't give a shit about that. But
yeah, but it was also the night of the AFC Championship game. So maybe
more reason the release.
Oh boy. Just people who live in grass houses shouldn't show throws. You know what I mean?
There you go. All right. Well, it's good. It's good that we finally got to do this.
Yes. We should do this more often, like weekly or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure that we'll be able to do that, especially now that we're in the same country. Look at that.
Yes. And you're 2 hours behind me, so you won't fall asleep as much.
That's also true. That's also true. I gotta say,
it's only 8:45 where you are.
Hey, Pacific Coast, man. I got to watch the Jays game at noon. Like, well, what? This is great. Maybe
that Red Sox game on Monday started at what, 8 a.m. for you?
Well, I was still, I wasn't watching that one. So I've been doing.
I know. I'm just saying that's the earliest baseball game every season.
It's a lot better than living in Atlantic, I'll tell you that. The sport be up till 2 a.m.
We call that Eastern Standard Time. Just don't embarrass yourself. No, it's Atlantic in Canada. We call Eastern.
No, I was in Atlantic, in Barbados.
Oh, Atlantic. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's literally an Atlantic time zone, and then they don't do the daylight saving, so then it was even worse that one part. But yeah, I can get used to NFL starting at 10 in the morning. I like that. I'm gonna be happy about
all the games.
There you go.
You married well, my friend. You married well.
Yes, I did. So check out all the other shows that we do here in the Buchnerverse. A lot of Vinny Laspinuso has been very, very active with a lot of great Hall of Fame cases. Chris Meridian's been helping out with some elevator stuff for the month. He's got some great insight. And Evan and I, we've got our ballot ready to send off to the committee for the United States Athletics Hall of Fame. That's going to actually, we're pretty excited about that. We've got some more new members, even more diverse group than before, representing a lot more sports. I've got some more journalists that I know you got another one. I just got another one today that we didn't have before.
Yep.
So
like what I say about this committee, we want to be on it, but we want to be the least what's the word I'm looking
disqualified.
for? Qualified, acclaimed people on that committee. So,
yeah,
but everything I should have ready by Sunday, so it should be able to go out by Sunday. So I'll have it all out. I am finalizing some putting our logo on some stuff and making sure that I don't like the new logo which is part of the holdup. So I'm finally putting the logo on some stuff, and I don't like the way that the ballot has formatted. So I'm trying to fix the formatting. But once other than that, everything's done. So
bit of first world problems. We got this. So wherever you are, wherever you may be, make today count because it never comes again. Take care, everyone.
Take care, guys.